Good evening, fresh cutters out there. We've got episode, what are we at, 16 now, Cody? Is that 15 or 16?
I think it's 15.
So, moving right along. Got a new format for you today. Hope you like it. Hope you like the new graphics here by Joe at Printworks. If you can get to the QR code there, it'll take you to our online store where you can buy all kinds of merchandise. Helps the podcast out tremendously. And also you'll see all the other platforms we're on. Don't forget to like, share, or subscribe, especially to our YouTube page for a chance at the NCAA March Madness Squares Pool. That's coming up. That'll be in a month from today, actually. 4 weeks from today. That's exciting. So that's what we really want to get to talking about, because it's getting into like the meat and potatoes of the college basketball season, isn't it, Cody?
Yeah, we're getting into an exciting time where we're closing up on the regular season. Coming up will be the conference tournaments. You got the Big 12 tournament, the ACC tournament, the Big 10 tournament, SEC. Very exciting times. You're going to have tournament games all through the day. So if you're at work with us, coming to get a haircut, we'll have the games on while you're getting your haircut. And then right into that, we'll go into March Madness, where everybody's going to fill out the brackets. What about you, Wes? Are you a multiple bracket? How many brackets you got? I think I go about 3 brackets. I do 3. What do you do, Wes?
I do 1 bracket every year. He set me up for that, because I got to have 1 bracket. It's easy to fill out a bunch and get them right. So, yeah, definitely one of the best times to be at the barbershop. Working from 8 to 5, there's not a ton of sports. We've been blessed with the Olympics, which has been exciting.
Shout out to the women's Olympic team, hockey team, got gold in overtime against Canada.
Yes, and prayers to Cody's client, who almost lost his ear when when that final goal went in there. Yeah, big guy can't help himself sometimes. What can I say? So
too much free bird.
Another person that seems to not be able to help themselves is Mick Cronin. Again, we want to jump right into some college basketball stuff. The UCLA coach took a loss the other night, and we wanted to show you a little something, and then we'll dive into what we think about it. It's not a good look for him.
Give a rat's ass about the other team's student section.
That's about the overall way that
I would like to give you a kudos for the worst question I've ever been asked.
Did you like
You should take it.
the preparation of the?
Do you really think I care about the other team's
No, I don't
student
think you care about the
section? Are
other.
you raising your voice at me?
No, I'm
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Come on, dude.
No, he's
Come on. Yes, you do.
Yikes.
Did you think he was raising his voice? It just
No,
sounded,
the reporter's doing his job.
Yeah.
The reporter's doing his job.
It's like a higher register.
It was a blowout game. Michigan State wiped the floor with UCLA. And I understand as a coach, you're upset that your players didn't play the best they could and everything like that. But to come out, the media, come out a sports reporter for doing his job, was it the best question? Not necessarily. But have some respect for the guy. You're a coach at UCLA. UCLA, we all know Wes has the most national championships in college basketball.
Yeah.
With the whole 70s run with
7 in a
Kareem
row,
Abdul-Jabbar
right?
and John Wooden and Bill Wald. I mean, they've been one of the big blue bloods in college basketball. You're at UCLA, nice sunny Los Angeles, and you can't win. You got blown out by Michigan State. Right now,
They're spending a bunch of money too.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking. Yeah, it's UCLA. They're going to spend a bunch of money. Right now, you're 17-9, and you're 9-6 in the conference. You're not even top 5, top 6 in the conference of the Big Ten, and you're going to come with that attitude. Wes, let me ask you a question. Do you think Dean Smith? Do you think Coach K? Do you think Jim Boeheim, any of these great coaches that we have seen would come at a reporter after that? I mean, no. I mean, what do you think?
No. They just asked Shire a similar question when Carolina won about how their student section reacted. I mean, it wasn't super favorable, but he didn't get mad at the reporters for it.
He wasn't disrespectful.
Yeah, and I think it's a legitimate question. I don't see anything wrong. I mean, they were getting stomped, and Michigan State was letting them have it. So, I mean, yeah, it's a legitimate question, and he certainly didn't raise his voice. It wasn't a good look because he was like, "Oh, the cameras are on." Yeah, the cameras are on. We can tell you're being kind of an ass.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, like I said, you're talking big bad, and you're like, you're there's this big dog, but you're not even irrelevant in college basketball. You're not in the top 25. You're not even in the top 6 or 7 in your conference. You haven't been relevant, and since. Oh man, I think they played what? I think they played Gonzaga one year in the Final Four or something like
maybe
that.
the Lonzo Ball era.
No, well, they had some
somewhere in there.
but somewhere in there. But I mean, when's like they've been in the Big Ten for a while now. They haven't won a Big Ten championship, and you haven't won a national championship. You haven't even been to a national championship game, and so I just think that it's a lot of bark coming from a little dog.
Yeah.
And I think that he needs to be reevaluating because what do you think high school players are going to think about this? What do you think about transfer players that are going to think about this? You don't play for that guy? Your parents, you want to send your kids to the UCLA to play for that guy? And so I just think that the college basketball coaches, I know it's frustrating. I know you can get mad after a game and after the players. But this is not the 1970s. This is not the 1980s of how you can treat your players however you want to. These players are moving more into the NBA where they're making the most money and they can transfer. They can leave anytime. The way the state of college basketball and college sports in general, even college football, is the players got the power now. They can leave if they want to.
Yeah.
If they don't like the way you're coaching and they don't like the way you're doing things with that program, they'll just pack it up and leave.
Yeah, and what Cody's referring to is, in addition to that, he basically ejected one of his own players in that game, and just can't do that. So he's going to be on the hot seat. They've lost 3 out of the last 5 now. It seems like they've got 17 wins, but they're only winning against the more inferior competition. Which going to inferior competition, there's not a ton of it this year. Cody and I, one of the things we've been kind of bouncing off each other is the talent level, especially with the youngsters this year, which is basically where all the talent comes because everybody leaves after 1 year. Cody had brought up the 95 draft in the NBA that had a bunch of talent, but there were also a bunch of 2, 3, and 4 year players in that draft. Mm-hmm. This upcoming draft is going to be loaded. Probably the top 15 players are going to be freshmen more than likely. Mm-hmm. We've got a bunch of freshman guys out there. I don't know who's going to win Player of the Year. I know, Cameron Boozer is I'm not going to say he's flying under the radar, but his statistics are just out of this world for a very dominant Duke team with only 2 losses. I think he might be the best player, most dependable player, in my opinion. Cody, who are some of the guys that you're looking at in the freshman class?
The top freshmen that I really like right now is A.J. DeBonza out of BYU. He's not the best defensive player, but he is
one of the league in scoring, though, right?
I think he just went 35 last night against Arizona. I mean, he is one of the best offensive players. With Wes talking about Cameron Boozer being so offensive efficiency. Same thing with A.J. DeBonza. He is a scoring machine.
I think the defense with Boozer, I just kind of like a little bit more, but DeBonza's definitely a better scorer. I don't like kind of how BYU's on a little stumble here. They got a big game this weekend. If they can maybe right the ship a little bit.
Also, of course, you got Caleb Wilson from North Carolina. Of course, he is hurt right now, but when we have seen him healthy, the upside, it's not as efficient on offense as the 2 other guys that we just mentioned, but he brings so much more defensively besides those 2.
And I think his personality and attitude goes a long way.
Yeah,
Caleb.
yeah.
He's wise beyond his years.
Oh yeah, he's got a good head on his shoulders, and I believe that right now his floor is not as high as those two guys, as like as far as drafting in the first round, but I feel like his ceiling, being such a young guy, I feel like his ceiling is higher than those other two guys. We also have Kingston Flemings out of Houston, guard. Of course, we'll see him this Saturday in a ginormous game.
I want to see him go up against the Arizona backcourt. If he can dominate, I know Arizona's front court is really what where they make their money. But I'd like to see that matchup this weekend and see what he's really made of. Or do you think any of those guys are going to be number one?
I think AJ DiBonzo is going to be the number one pick in the NBA draft, this upcoming NBA draft. Because of the offensive efficiency. Right now, your top two rookies in the league is Cooper Flagg and Con Knipple. Those guys are
score.
Just score. They just are scoring machines. And so I think if you want that score machine type, you got to go with AJ DiBonzo. But sneaky dark horse, we saw the guy go for 49 last night. Do you know who that is, Wes?
Oh gosh, Arkansas.
That's right.
Yeah,
Darius Acuff Jr.
Yeah,
that's
the most. That's the most points by a D1 freshman in, God, maybe ever.
Oh wow!
I don't know. It was up there.
I mean, it was up there.
Yeah.
I mean, the game went in 2 overtimes. He's just playing phenomenally right now. He's just probably I would say he's the best point guard in the country.
He couldn't miss last night.
He couldn't miss last night. Arkansas, even though they did lose to Alabama last night, you're talking about an Arkansas team with still a ton of talent. And with Acuff, if he right now he's averaging 30 right now probably. If he stays hot like this, he's going to be super dangerous when it comes to March Madness.
They love drafting good guards in the NBA. Ones that show themselves in college. They'll develop a bigger player more, but they like to see that guard coming in strong. So I like him, but I think Boozer's going to go number one. But one guy that we haven't mentioned is out of Kansas there, Peterson. A lot of people think he's going to go number one. I mean, he's going top 3 or 5 though, at least, right?
Yeah, yes. He'll, just because of talent alone, but mentality is the big issue with him. Is does he really care about college basketball right now? Is he just so focused on getting to the league and not really focused on Kansas right now? Because he set out last night because of cramps, which was he really cramping, or he was just like, I don't want to play Oklahoma State. I've already got my 20 points and I want to take my ball and go home. He's missed a lot of games this year because of small issues, nothing serious, nothing like, a torn ACL or anything crazy like that. Just cramps. And he had one game with a flu game. And it's like, are you really caring about Kansas and where this program and this team is going? Or are just kind of going through the motions, trying to get through the season so you can be a top pick in the NBA draft?
Yeah. It's interesting that you make that take, Cody, because I couldn't agree more. And I'll tell you, whenever I started kind of feeling that way about the young man is when they played Arizona, they didn't wax them. They beat them like a couple points, like 3 or 4 points, but they played one of their best games of basketball without him. And, he had the flu. I'm not going to fault anybody if you have the flu. If you've got a bad flu, there's no way you can play. But cramps and stuff like that, we've all been 18, 19 years old. Like, eat a banana and drink some water and let's move on. So I couldn't agree more, Cody. I think Kansas playing so well against Arizona, I think that was kind of the team saying, like, we can win without this guy. That kind of shows maybe he's not a team guy. And then, again, he's missed like 11 or 13 games or something.
Oh, yeah.
They've only played 25 games. So he's missed almost half the games. And I couldn't agree more that he's looking ahead. So I think that NBA scouts will look into that. And so I look to see either, like what Cody said, Acuff or one of the other two players that we mentioned who probably go ahead of him in the draft. So, Cody, what are you thinking next? Should we go over the games coming up this weekend, or any upsets that you want to go over? Or?
I do want to mention some of the upsets last night. We had last night we had Creighton over UConn. UConn was I think they were 5 in the country.
Yeah, they're ranked 5. I think they were favored by like 12 points in that game too.
Creighton won 91-84, and it was just like I said, it was tied up at halftime, but Creighton just could not miss. I mean, 91 points at UConn. They shot 49% from the field goal percentage. They shot 48% from the 3-point line. I mean, they could not miss. They were on fire. And Wes, you were in our last episode. You were high on UConn. One of your Final Four. Are you hitting the panic button right now, or you're like, nah, this is just a little speed bump. We're gonna keep on rolling.
No, I'm not hitting the panic button simply because it wasn't my immense faith in UConn. It's just I felt like the top 4 or 5 teams were just separated so much by the remainder. That being said, all that talent we mentioned, those are all, except for Boozer, they're all on teams, ranked in the top 25 below 5 or 6. So there is plenty of competition down there, but I'm not hitting the panic button with UConn. I'm sure Hurley is. I would hate to be in that locker room after that. But Creighton year in, year out is a good team, so I don't look too much into that. They didn't blow them out. I mean, going over last night's game, I guess you could consider Alabama an upset win over Arkansas, but Alabama has been playing. They were stumbling a little bit. I think they were due for a win at home there, I don't look into that. I actually look at the Virginia game. Virginia kind of sneaking up there. They're ranked in the top 15 in the country, and looks like they're learning how to score a little bit too. Scored over 90 points against Georgia Tech, so that was something that I was looking at. That watch out for Virginia, because they can play good defense, and that always translates well in tournaments. So.
Well, Virginia also, we are going to find out how good Virginia is, because their next 3 games is Miami, a red-hot NC State team that took down the Tar Heels, and then Duke. And so, I mean,
we'll see. I think they can beat Miami, but Miami's been playing well. But look out. But we shall see. Any other upsets you were looking at? I know, we did talk about some of the games that happened last Saturday in the last podcast. There was plenty of upsets on that day. Mm-hmm. Texas Tech,
we were high on Texas Tech beating Arizona in our last episode. They beat Arizona for their second loss, but unfortunately. They lost their best player, JT Toppin. He tore his ACL, and they took a loss to Arizona State this past Tuesday night, and so that really hurts Texas Tech. I mean, Toppin was one of the top big men in the country, and
top play. If we would have not just been talking about freshmen, he would have been in that talk for Player of the Year. Mm-hmm. He is one of the best players, and I think. It was a MCL?
He tore his ACL.
ACL. So, unfortunately out for the season. Probably going to go in the NBA draft next year, so going to hurt his stock. So, really hate that. But still a good team, but definitely look for Texas Tech will probably stumble. Anytime you lose a player of his caliber, it kind of takes the wind out of your sails there. So, looking forward to some more upsets coming up this weekend. Plenty of good games. One game, there's a game on here we'll go over towards the end, but Arizona and Houston, that's going to be a line in the sand for the Big 12 there. Arizona they've got 2 losses, but I think both of them are here somewhat recently. So kind of stumbling there. Houston's got a great player. We just mentioned earlier or did we bring up Kingston Flemings?
We talked about it a little bit. You definitely want to see more. And if Houston is going to win this game, I think he's going to have to get like 22. If he can get 22, you're looking at Houston winning this game
and slow that front court down.
That's right. Right. But Arizona is, golly, they're so good. Their bigs are just. You got Awaka, who is at power forward, and then you got this is gonna be fun. Their big guy who's about 7'2".
Yeah, these African names are tough on us podcasters.
Krivos? I think it's Krivos from Louisiana. He's center, 7'2", and he's just a monster down low. And then I think their best player, who is a freshman, that's Braden Burries.
Mm-hmm.
He's a 6'4" guard. He's super athletic, can really get to his spot. And the best part of his game is the mid-range. So it's like if I can get like off a screen or if I can find that spot where I'm really good, man, he's going to knock it down every single time.
Yeah, absolutely. Over under in that game is only 139.5. I don't know. I feel like both of those teams like to score quite a bit. So we'll see how that goes. Houston favored by 5.5. So
it's going up too for Houston. Money's coming in on Houston.
Yeah. So there's something going on there. Definitely pay attention to those trends. I am excited about that game. I love a good 3:00 game, but the game that I'm most excited about, because I think we're gonna, is Michigan at Duke. If Michigan wins this game, it's just a no-brainer. That's the number one team. They play great defense. They score plenty, but Duke is actually. They're only 2.5 point underdogs in this situation. So I'm very interested to see how this is going to turn out. Cody, where do you think with this game? Do you think Duke has got enough firepower to keep up with Michigan?
For Duke, it's going to be if they're going to win this game against Michigan, it's going to have to help. They're going to have to help Boozer out. This is not a stand back and watch Boozer get 30 and then we'll just, and we'll win the game. Isaiah Evans is going to have to get 20. Caleb Foster is going to have to get about 10 to 12. And Czar is going to have to get about 10 to 12. These guys have to help out Boozer if they're going to win this game. They're going to have to play good defense because Michigan has their center, Mara, and he's, I want to say, he's 7'3". Ade Mara, and with that is going to become. You can just toss it up to him and he's going to dunk it. It's just plain and simple. And so when you got a guy like that, he's going to be disruptive with Boozer on the defense end, and then who's going to be able to stop him on the offense end? They got really good freshmen too.
I think it's who's going to guard Lendenberg.
Yes.
Because he's just on fire right now. Just you talk about just a all-around player. I know that sounds boring, the ones that play offense and defense and stuff like that, but he's gonna pick 2 steals a game. He gets in there for rebounds and stuff like that. Just a great and it's good to see a senior. Those players towards the end of the season tend to perform a lot better. He's going to be 3 or 4 years older than most of the players on Duke, so I look for that, but I want to see where Duke stands here, because if they can really lay it on Michigan, I think they'll kind of get some love as one of the best the best team in the country. I don't think everybody has a ton of faith in Houston being the best team and Arizona kind of fading away, but I think far and away Michigan is kind of in their own class this year. As bad as I hate to say it. Not that I hate Michigan. I just want to see, I want to see some competition and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think whoever wins this game, like I said, depending on how they do in the conference tournaments, will get the number 1 overall seed. in the March Madness tournament and the NCAA tournament. I do think because of the conferences, with the Big Ten being stronger than the ACC, I do lean more Michigan in this game because of Duke. I think Duke played Syracuse the other night, and it just blew
Scored
the brake.
180.
Yeah, just blew the brakes off of them, and then Michigan just got done playing Purdue.
They've been playing some dogs.
And Purdue was red hot going into that Michigan game. And that could have been an easy trap game for Michigan looking ahead to Duke. And that place was a hornet nest. It was at Purdue. And Michigan was just like a pro team, man. They just went in there. They took care of business. And they hopped on the plane and went back home to Michigan. And I just was blown away about their win against Purdue. So, like I said, no big shocker here. I'm leaning Michigan in this game. If Duke wins, which will be a big upset, they'll be the number one team in the country, and they'll run through the ACC. It would be a huge win for Duke. And like I said, I'm not hating on Duke. I just think that
it's just a different class.
I just think that the ACC is not helping Duke out when you're playing that level of competition.
Yeah.
And we saw it last year. Whenever it came to the big games, and Duke had more of a talented team, when it came to the Final Four, they played a Houston team that was battle-tested. And that Houston team, when it came to the very end, they pulled it out.
Yep, totally agree. I like Michigan in this game. If Michigan had to lay 3.5, I might take Duke in this situation. I think, because it's a big game and a primetime game, I hate to say this, especially on ESPN, the refs will probably try to keep it close towards the end if it is close. And so
this is a neutral site game too.
Yeah, definitely. ESPN game, 6:30. So great. That two good time lineups for us there. So
you don't have to stay up late with us.
No, you know how it is for me. So loving it. One of the things, the ACC is getting better this year from last year. The Big Ten is taking a step up. The Big 12 is still really strong. SEC's taking a little step back, but they're still very competitive. So I really think it's been, because of the Super Bowl and we're just getting out of football, it's been underrated. But we're in for a really good tournament. And not just the NCAA tournament, but the conference tournaments as well, which are coming up in 3 weeks. So get ready. Cody, you got anything else to kind of spit out there for college basketball?
Just looking forward to games this weekend. As we get closer, you're going to see, who you want to see who's hot right now. You're getting ready to fill out, March Madness brackets. You want to see who is the hottest team right now. And like I said, just enjoy the games. I know we talked a little bit about golf and NASCAR. That was big last weekend. We were happy to see the outcomes. Those came down to the wire. Great.
Not as happy as Michael Jordan was.
Yeah, that's right. He got his first championship at Daytona 500. So NASCAR is at Atlanta this weekend. It's also a very good track. If you're not doing too much on Sunday, turn it to Atlanta. The race on Atlanta, it's going to still give you that Daytona feel. There's going to be some drafting, and I know they got was it Genesis?
Yeah.
Genesis?
They're playing at the Riviera, and you're going to want to maybe tune in the other sports. It looks like they're getting rained out here on Thursday, so could be a swampy tournament. So not what you want to hear. Definitely don't want to hear of a Monday finish or anything like that. So we'll keep you posted. We're not done with golf and NASCAR. We just had so much college basketball.
Yeah, it's just been so hot. College basketball is the hottest topic right now in all the sports.
We may touch back on some of the other topics and maybe even go over some of the medal count and stuff like that in the Olympics. Who knows? Again, we appreciate all the support we've been getting. We'll be back here same time next week, and again, we really appreciate it. Don't forget to visit the shop up here. Have a good week.
Thank you.